Right, so this is just a little showcase of my Gemling grenade build. It's a pretty standard Gemling, or it's a pretty standard grenade build using the Gemling Ascendancy with the new additional quality for any skill. It's mainly using explosive shot and explosive grenade for clear, and then cluster grenade with 0 detonation time to like shotgun and do a bunch of single target damage. Yes, I can enter a map to show off the Claire. If we make like a 6 mod map here, and this would have a breach, powerful map boss, and an abyss, just to like showcase what the Claire usually looks like. So in general, right, you see the Claire here. The explosive shot has really good AoE damage. And in general, my tree has a bunch of movement speed, pretty much all the move speed nodes that I can have that are nearby. And sometimes when there's more tanky enemies like this one, I tend to use explosive grenade to finish them off. If there's like a tanky rare here, we can just use explosive grenade. Right. Then for defenses, I have full armor and health build. You can see I have 3300 health here. It's because of the... okay, I will not take this shrine actually, just to showcase the build. But because of these strength modes, I have in total 32% increased max life. So with this, my defenses has worked really well for me, just going full armor with because I have this much life. And I also have a bit of energy shield, I believe, from my... Actually, I don't remember from where, but I have a bit of energy shield and a bit of ward as well. Yeah. And sometimes, for example, for these essences, I tend to use the shotgun cluster grenade just to instantly kill those enemies. Right. I can show the breach here. The AoE damage for white mobs is pretty much always good with the explosive shots. And I also have Herald of Ash for clear for me, basically for white mobs as well. And here it might spawn a bunch of rare mobs, and I can just use explosive grenade to just insta kill them. Oh. Here, sometimes the abyss mobs are a bit difficult content, as they're sometimes invulnerable for certain effects. But it's mostly feels very good overall, the Claire. Yeah, you see some of these are very tanky enemies. And then these rogue exiles, I tend to use the cluster grenade as well for the single target damage, which like usually one hits them very easily. Right, you can see the boss damage here. I tend to use oil grenade to reduce the resistances. Here. And then cluster grenade. I'm just gonna use cluster grenade now. And that's enough to kill the boss in 2 hits. The powerful map boss. Another important effect that the build is using is this surrounded. So using this unique, you only need one enemy nearby to be considered surrounded. And this gives us a few very big benefits, and the biggest one is this Defy 2 support gem, where all my attack hits are lucky while I'm surrounded, which is a big damage multiplier. And then if I don't have enough mana to use an ability, I can still use it while I'm surrounded. So this is what I use to just prevent all my mana problems. I just make sure I'm in range of an enemy when I cast my grenade skills. Because I have nothing else that gives me mana, so I'm just tend to just go all the time. Other than that, the surrounded also gives these. There's 2 clusters here that give really good effects from while you are surrounded. For example, there's like 20% attack speed and 25% attack damage just from small nodes. And like this one giving 116 attack damage while surrounded. Like there's huge benefits. Right, so other than that, as I said, I generally have a lot of movement speed on the tree and area of effect. So something like this one is giving 15%. And this one is giving up to 40% area of effect. This is just to make clearing way faster. And then here in this cluster, we have a really high value time lost emerald because there's so many notables and small perks here. Well, one of the big effects from this one is the increased effects from notable passives in radius, as well as I just have other effects like damage with crossbows and damage against rares. And then these nodes are giving rage because, right, I could show now maybe the persistent buffs are eternal rage to give you maximum rage. I currently have 45 maximum rage, so that's straight up a 45% attack damage multiplier. And then these nodes are just a bit of extra armor. And then because of the additional gem effect here, we actually get spirit reservation efficiency, which means I only have 12 spirit on my amulet, or 14, and that's enough to use both of these, Eternal Rage and Herald of Ash. And everything else on the tree isn't that special. I tend to have more like move speed here on my weapon set 1, which is explosive shot. And then on weapon set 2 with the grenades, I have like the penetrates enemy resistances effects, and then all the grenade buffs, of course, like +1 cooldown use and grenade detonation time. There's actually 2 nodes that give reduced detonation time, and it turns out I don't need this one to make cluster grenade instant. I can only use this. I only need to use this one. There's another effect I found because I have enough quality on cluster grenade. Like I have 31% quality on all my skills. Right, there's also how I'm getting quality is also from this notable, which is a like a secret type of notable now. You can only get it by anointing your amulet, and it's giving 5% quality of all skills, which is obviously very high value for the Gemling build. So this is probably what you're gonna anoint no matter what, if you're playing Gemling with some sort of quality effect. Other than that, I could show the other effects here is of course the Virtuous Barrier that I explained. This was giving me 32% max health, which is very good, and it's also giving me at max stacks 40% increased armor and a tiny bit of mana regen and life regen, but doesn't really matter. And this one's giving me +2 levels of all my skills because all of them have a strength requirement, and this is just a bit less move speed penalty when I'm moving. If you look at my gear, it's pretty standard gear. Most of my armor is from this chest body armor. Rings are just flat damage and resistances, and also maximum life. The same here, +3 to all projectile skills, and then life and resistances. Also try to get life on boots and gloves as well, and on my belt, just to try to have a lot of. It's like a good synergy with this one, giving you percentage max life. Other than that, I also have this special socket on my gloves, which is giving me a dual socket on my gloves, which is a really high value. And this one is costing like 7 divines right now, but I think I got it for a lot cheaper earlier in the league. It's not even a week into the league right now, but so the prices are changing kind of fast. But this one's a really broken socket, I feel like, to have on your gloves. And yes, my crossbows are... I have 2 weapon sets, because for this one I am using all my grenade skills. I have them fire an additional projectile. And then on my other weapon set, there's another crossbow with onslaught, so clearing with explosive shots tends to give me onslaught while I'm running through the maps. And on both of them I tried this type of... I tried to use this rune, which transforms all the modifiers to lightning. And both these crossbows mainly have elemental damage. So this turns everything to lightning, and that's just because I was thinking, because my hits are lucky while I'm surrounded, that should have more effect on lightning damage, I was thinking. And I believe this worked pretty well, but I'm not exactly sure on the math on that. I would have to use like Path of Building to check how valuable this actually is. But I thought it was pretty cool to use turn it all to lightning, as these rolls tend to roll a lot higher than like the cold damage and fire damage. It also shocks enemies for that additional damage. Overall, I would say this build is about 40 to 50 divines. It's very hard to like estimate how much value, because it's so early in the league, and it also kind of depends how good you are at searching for gear to buy as well, like knowing exactly what to look for the most damage. You can probably get a very good build up for very cheap, I would say, if you spend a lot of time and know how to search. And also there's gear with like missing suffixes or prefixes, where you can like desecrate the missing ones to make it a good piece of gear for extremely cheap in a lot of cases as well. So, but it's around 50 div I think I spent on this. That's pretty much the whole build. It has worked really well for me at this for this league start. And I would recommend it if you want to play like this type of grenade fire build. I would say for sure it's one of the higher tier builds right now, and like relatively simple. But I wouldn't say it's like the top tier, most broken, insta-kill everything type of build, right? But it's just for sure a very good high tier build. And if you have any questions, or if you see anything that isn't ideal, you should just tell me in the comments, because this is just... I'm just showing how I did it, how I played. I'm not saying this is the perfect, most ideal, optimal way to play, right? So I would like to know if you guys have any like alternative ways to play the build, or anything you would change.
Redemption. The enemy returns. This world must be purged!